been a minute.
It's been a little bit of a minute. We had banked up a couple episodes, and we're putting them out, and then we had, focus on, work and other stuff we had going on in our lives, but we're back in the saddle now, and the timing could not be more perfect, unless you live in Pakistan or India.
Yeah, it's not a good time to live in either one of those.
I don't think it's ever been a good time, personally, but...
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, this just in, breaking news. India and Pakistan are at war. Some say, not me, some say Big Deodorant is behind it. They've been supplying weapons to both sides.
Some say. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah, no. This has been a week full of gold on the internet.
Oh, yeah.
The videos of the Pakistani soldiers, with their helmets fucking crooked and, wearing, 17 flak jackets, all, launching artillary.
Yeah.
And they have, one-man artillery teams. He's trying to do it all, running around, loading it up, doing it. And then, some random dude doing, fire! And, they look absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, dude, it's crazy to me that, you see how much better, we always talk shit about how, stupid we are in the military and how bad our military is, and then it's you go see any other country and you're like, oh my God.
Or how are they even still a country?
Dude.
It's the question.
It's NFL, not to, brag, but it's literally NFL versus college or high school.
I would say middle school.
Yeah, some of these, some countries, yeah.
But I mean, technology has leveled the playing field.
Right.
That's they may be dumb as hell, but the technology difference. I mean, they're both nuclear countries as well, which is terrifying too. But
what are they fighting over? Kashmir? It's the Kashmir region?
The Kashmir region. So,
do they just not like each other, or did they just want the resources from that area?
I think combination of all of it. I think it started initially as kind of a border dispute. Mm-hmm. And they each control different sections. China even controls a little piece of the pie too. But India and Pakistan are going back and forth. They fought. This will be the fifth conflict since 1957 after World War II between them. I think solution here, hot take, get the presidents or the fucking leaders in a boxing ring.
Yeah.
Last man out takes Kashmir.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm for that.
Think the numbers that would put up online, dude.
I would lean towards Pakistan in that instance, personally.
Really, you don't think Modi's got it in him?
I need to see what he looks like. I've never seen a jacked Indian guy.
Dude, what about...
the only Indian UFC fighter got literally one punch KO'd. A month ago. Not a great look.
Don't they have, sneaky fucking, massive dudes? You're holy fuck, that dude is... the Great Khali is what I'm thinking here.
I have no idea. I think those are just Mongolians that just snuck down after I don't know. And I'm pro-Indian. I don't want it to sound like I'm anti-Indian. I'm just being realistic.
Yeah, I think I'm on the side of our vice president here, where he was like, "This is none of our fucking business."
Yeah, I'm for that.
But I do love the content coming out of it.
Yeah,
because the night it all went down, I started watching this live stream, and it was the cheesiest fucking live stream I've ever seen in my life. Some dude, he literally looks like he's in his basement with a camera. He's got a whole news setup, he's on the news, but it's just him.
Suit, tie, everything.
Suit, tie, everything.
Scroller?
Huh?
Scroller?
Yeah. He's got the feeds going. He's got the top right, live and the location and stuff. And he's midstream resizing the overlays on his thing. He's like, "Oh, no, too much, too big, too little." And he's like, "Oh, breaking news. Allegedly," and he was reading the most. I hopped back on his stream last night. I'm not gonna lie. I've been a frequent watcher since.
How many? Okay, let me just get some how many people watch it live?
He had 20,000 people.
Holy fuck!
On
okay.
YouTube alone. So
holy shit!
He's on Twitch and
Good
stuff.
for this guy.
Yeah. Don't ask me what it's fucking called, because I've just saved that link that I keep fucking forwarding along. I sent it to you the first night when I saw the artillery fire on it. Yeah. And then I've just been going back to that link. So it's been, no idea. It's some like non-political or something like.
Respect.
Yeah. So, great watch, great find. If I can find the name, I will fucking.
We'll plug it.
Yeah.
You texted me yet, so I'll just look it up.
It's fucking hilarious. Like, he was sharing state news out of Pakistan. It's like Pakistan was coming out last night saying, "Oh, Pakistan hit India with a cyber attack and knocked out 80% of its power grid." And he's like, "I don't know if that's true, but if it is," I'm like,
hell yeah, sick reporting. All right, this guy's agenda-free TV.
Agenda-free TV.
Live
That's what it is.
coverage will begin shortly. 1.1 million views 3 days ago.
Yeah, dude, that was the first one I found, and so
yeah,
just chilling, and he like got a live stream from someone in India was the camera.
Yeah,
and it was pointed, like it was on the border, pointed back towards India. So like the artillery rounds were coming over and hitting. And you'd hear it like the train whistle,
right?
And then you would see the impact. Well, at first you weren't seeing the impacts, and just this dude like, "Can confirm we are getting booms." He's like, "Booms, we're getting booms." And
it's just the Rizzler in the background.
Yeah. Let's get 5 booms. And, but and then fucking like 15 minutes into it, you see artillery just fucking impact like 200 yards in front of this camera.
Damn.
I'm like, this is, technology is crazy. Now that we've got a conflict going on.
Live stream conflict.
Yeah. Live stream artillery just blowing up randomly in a city.
I remember having this feeling when the Ukraine war started. And I remember watching I was like, holy fuck, this is crazy. Like you get to like watch like POV fighting. And then when the drone stuff started happening, because like we weren't very far removed from that, the drones and stuff, but we never even considered drone warfare or knew what that would look like.
I never thought it would be as fucked as it is.
As fucked as it is, yeah. And like I feel so bad for I really do feel bad for that feeling of like seeing those like Russian soldiers in an open field and this drone is just like going around them and you're just like, what am I gonna do?
I don't care what side you're on. Like those dudes, none of those dudes are decision makers.
No.
They're there trying to fucking pay their bills, same as we did when we joined the military.
They thought they were doing they think that they're doing the right thing.
Yeah. I'm a big believer no one is inherently evil. I
Yeah.
think everyone, for whatever reason, like no one steals just to say fuck you to someone.
Right.
They like if someone's stealing, they're usually trying to do it to provide for their family, and they think that outweighs the impact it has on the person you're stealing from.
Yeah. Speaking of good and evil, dude, there's a new pope. What are your thoughts about that? Because you're Catholic, right?
No, I grew up Lutheran, but now I'm more. I don't know. I don't really buy into the whole denomination thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think since I read the Bible myself, you kind of realize like a lot of these denominations, Catholics, everybody is kind of twisting the Bible to meet what they're selling.
Yeah,
a little bit. Nothing against Catholics, whatever. I think the church is a very good thing because it brings people to know all that. But new Pope, I don't really know too much about him. I saw he was from Chicago.
He's a White Sox fan.
Ooh.
That's all I know about him.
I mean, to be fair, that's kind of a team that like no one really cares about, in my opinion.
I lived in Chicago for a little bit. I was a Cubs fan, personally, but I think I was a Cubs fan. I was really young. It's whoever my parents told me to root for, basically. But
this may be a hot take, but who the fuck roots for the White Sox?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, do they even have a fan base?
It's part of Chicago.
Just the Pope?
Yeah, it's just the Pope, yeah. It's so funny, dude. Like, all the memes about the Pope coming out, it's like a lot of like, I think he went to Villanova.
Okay.
Pretty sure he went to Villanova. And like, I know, like, Clemson posted something about it. Clemson was like, He's like, America really got a pope before South Carolina got a national championship. It's like, dude,
throwing
it's
shade.
Like whoever runs Clemson social media will take any opportunity to throw shade at USC. But then it's like the big whatever Villanova's in, like the Big 12. I don't fucking know, Big 10 or some shit. They're like, they got a pope before Nebraska won a Big 10 championship or something like that.
Love it.
Yeah. It's a bigger deal than I thought it would be. I personally have no idea. I don't understand. Like, to me, the Vatican and the Catholic Church, like, I've been to Rome. It's like unreal levels of wealth. And the fact that it's like its own thing, it feels very Jeffrey Epstein-esque of
yeah, I mean,
power.
I think there is a need for something like the Vatican and everything. If you have one religion, the Catholic Church, spread out across the entire world, like, you need someone, and the main job of the Vatican is to, like, keep everyone on the same
path.
Yeah, okay. And the
that
same message. And that, so, like, different, like, they'll put out what kind of like plans for the year of like messages type stuff that like, and then also like as like gay rights became a bigger thing and stuff like that, really like pushing for equal rights for everyone and including everyone in the church. They've been more like each denomination, like Catholics obviously the largest, but they put out like guidance of like, yes, we are now accepting everybody.
I see. I see.
I do see the importance of that, but on the sense of the wealth side, you also got to think of how much people tithe to the church.
No, that's what I'm saying.
And it all filters uphill to the Vatican. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, I get that's a good point. Like, I didn't really consider that of like you need to have like that leadership structure for the church. Like, that makes sense to me. My thing is like, bro, what is in those motherfucking archives?
Oh.
Dude, they got some wild shit. Because, like, think about it. Like, I think most of, unrelated but related, most, like, complete fossilized, like, dinosaurs and, like, crazy archaeological finds, like, 90% is in, like, private collections of wealthy people.
Yeah.
So it's, like, those mofos have to have some like crazy stuff down there.
Dude, I think it's, I want to see like the stories, like The Exorcist, shit like that. That like, because like to do like, there's been real exorcisms allegedly.
Right.
Allegedly, I'm scared to death of that kind of shit. But
yeah, I don't fuck with that kind of shit, dude.
Yeah, it's like all archived though down there and stuff like.
Yeah, well, have you heard of Diana Pasulka? She's actually a UNCW professor. She's a religious scholar. She cool lady. She was on Joe Rogan. She was on Sean Ryan, and she like ties. She's a religious professor, and she ties a lot of religious stuff to UFO, and she basically explains how she like understands it. But one thing that she pointed out was Joan of Arc. So Joan of Arc, I believe, I'm like 99% certain it's Joan of Arc. Joan of Arc had a experience where she saw an angel, right? The traditional story is that she saw an angel, and this angel said, you are going to be like a war hero. Like, you're going to go on to do great things.
Yeah.
That's the conventional story. This lady, Diana Pasulka, she's a Catholic. She has some sort of credential to get into the Vatican, right? So she gets into the Vatican, and she like is like, oh, Joan of Arc is someone who's interested in me. I want to like read about her story.
Yeah.
And then it has the firsthand account of Joan of Arc, and the firsthand account of Joan of Arc is her. She's in her little mud hut in France or whatever the fuck, and she sees a short, gray, big-eyed alien that freaks her the fuck out and tells, like, basically it was a alien abduction like story, and that's the firsthand account according to Diana Pasulka. That's the firsthand account in the Vatican archives.
Interesting.
That was an alien thing. Same thing with Saint Thomas Assisi.
Have you seen the like AI Reddits or AI renders of biblical description of angels?
Yeah, they're creepy as fuck.
They're terrifying.
Yeah.
Imagine fucking waking up and seeing that shit.
No, I don't want to. Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. No, I think there's, yeah. I was also talking to someone the other day, not to get like too woo-woo on this subject, but it was my friend Sam, and she had an interesting point. She was saying that like she thinks that like Earth is like a penance planet for like you go here to like learn a lesson, not like bad necessarily, but you're supposed to like live this life and like learn a lesson.
I don't know. There's a lot of like people out there that think like the real hell is here on Earth. Like,
I don't fucking agree with that.
I think living the lives we live, fuck no.
Yeah.
If we were in India or Pakistan or Ukraine or Russia right now, maybe.
Yeah.
Depends all on your choices, though. I think how you make your life.
I've been watching a lot of near-death experience. Like, there's a YouTube channel. It's like near-death experiences, and it's people talking about it. And like unanimously, they're all like, they unanimously say that there's some sort of reincarnation, multiple life thing, and that they all think that you like choose this life and like you have to learn something. Basically, the gist is that you like go through this life and like learn something, and when you die, you come back into God's like embrace or whatever, heaven.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Well, interesting.
Yeah.
But I think this went way. I don't know how the fuck
we started with
here.
Pakistan.
Yeah, we started with India and Pakistan.
All right, let's bring it back to India and Pakistan. I was saying it's interesting to me that if I had to guess, like if there's a couple other conflicts I thought were gonna pop off first. Like this was not even on my radar.
What were you?
Israel, Iran.
Yeah.
That one was my number one.
Yeah.
There's one going on in South America. I don't know how realistic that was. And then there's like a couple ones in Africa.
Israel, Iran almost came to blows.
Yeah.
I think. So I read an article that like Israel was like primed and ready to fucking attack and like blow shit up. And Trump was like, let's chill the fuck out.
Good.
And right now, we'll release this on Tuesday or Wednesday, but this Sunday coming up, the U.S. and Iran are having talks again.
Good.
But the Trump administration came out saying that if Iran is not, like if they're not moving these talks forward, if they're just going and just bullshitting just to say they're talking, that the U.S. is not coming back to talk again.
Mm-hmm.
So I would not be surprised if by year end there's some kind of not conflict, but I would say escalation.
Right.
Escalation with Iran. The nukes are getting close is the concern.
Yeah, that's my thing. My thing is the nukes, dude. Like, and I get why we're allies with Israel. We want like a ally in the Middle East. But I personally feel like Israel swings its dick around a little too much, knowing that it's got Big Brother USA in its back pocket.
100%. Everybody does, dude.
Yeah.
Everybody does.
So that's why I'm like, Israel, chill. Please don't preemptively nuke Iran. That would be lame.
Yeah. Objectively speaking, leaving politics out of it, the U.S. fronts the bill for so many things.
Yeah.
Just deterrence, the whole North American continent is protected by the U.S.
Yeah, people are always like, oh, Canada has free health care, and, if the U.S. stopped spending so much money on, defense, then they would have free health care. It's like, well, yeah, Canada has free health care because they don't need to spend a lot of money on their military because they have us.
Yeah, and their health care actually fucking sucks.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, like the U.S. as a whole yes, I think we have a need to help people when we can.
Right.
But we also need to keep in perspective that, like, we need to make sure we are good before,
on the home front.
Yeah, before we go out. And right now, we are so divisive in this country.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane. I think 99% of people agree on 99% of topics.
Yeah.
But that, like, 1% that you disagree on, you
right.
think you have to convince the other person that they're wrong and you're right.
Yeah, and that's why I don't ever talk about politics. I'm not personally involved in politics because I just I just don't care enough. And like I know people are like, well, you should care because you get a vote. It's like, dude, I mean, my life is going to go on regardless. You know what I mean? Like, there's other things I would prefer to focus on, but going back, not to get on the political thing, but going back to what we get involved in, I would have loved, like, for us in the military, I think a lot of veterans will agree, like, Afghanistan and Iraq, kind of like, why did we go there?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a Vietnam situation.
Yeah.
For me, especially as paratroopers, I would have loved if Rwanda genocide's going on, they send us in there to go fucking stop that shit. To me, that's like what we should have done. You know what I mean? There's genocide going in. Yeah. We go in there. We just lay waste to those motherfuckers.
Do you know who? But at the same time, we're fighting child soldiers in Rwanda. You'd be fighting fucking 8 to 12-year-olds that are all hopped up on drugs, you know?
Well, it's like I would rather, hey, you know what? That sucks, but they're also killing people. You know what I mean?
That's true, yeah.
I'd rather, you know, like, I would rather me go in there, like us go in there and fuck shit up. I'm not saying like excited about like fucking them up. I'm saying stopping the bad, you know, the genocide.
Do you know what's crazy right now going on too? That like, this is one thing Iran surprisingly is doing well. Backing the Houthi rebels and the impact that the Houthi rebels are having on trade. Like, those big shipping container ships that are going through, they are like organized as fuck hitting those. And like, you don't see it on the news here, but you do some research, like, that is why we have aircraft carriers and stuff in the Gulf and like
to protect
all these. So we'll like kind of chauffeur these ships, but dude, they're going in with fast boats, like fast as fuck speedboats with Starlink. They've got like radar on the coast that they're tracking the U.S. They've got RPGs, like they've got all kinds of shit that they are. They're very organized with it, which is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, if you get some motivated people, you can do some damage, dude.
Yeah.
What is their motivation? Is it like just like
disrupt the U.S. trade and stuff?
Just like Islamic terrorism, like we hate the U.S.?
Not really. No, I think it's more economical than that.
Okay.
I think, you know, one of those big shipping container ships, think about how much trade and commerce is on those. And think about during like COVID when all those shipping containers were stuck on the coast and couldn't come in or whatever. Like, there's a lot of delays and stuff that go on, and like you disrupt some of those, there's a whole supply chain that gets disrupted after.
Dude, yeah. Dude, think about that. Like, those guys during COVID that were stuck on that ship, because they had to be out there for like 3 months or something crazy.
Yeah.
That sucks. Fuck that.
Couldn't really go back with full product and everything.
Dude, yeah. Yeah. That's crazy. So do you think, because you know more about the India-Pakistan thing than I do you think it's going to pop off into a full-scale war? Because I'm sure China is probably going to get involved and be like, yo, stop. I think China's
praying that it pops off into a full-blown war.
Dude, yeah, because in Taiwan.
Not even that, but both India and Pakistan buy weapons from China. The China defense industry would boom from this conflict. I think the biggest risk will be the next 2 weeks. I think if neither side, if neither side continues to escalate it, or if neither side backs down, I think it'll keep pushing
Interesting.
forward.
The China thing reminds me of something else I was reading the other day that was kind of surprising to me. Apparently, Iceland's prime minister came out and was like, we want to strengthen ties with China. And we want to sign like a trade deal. Because, you know, now the polar ice caps are melting or whatever.
Yeah.
It's opening up those shipping lanes. And they're like, we want to partner with China. I don't know if that's because of the whole Trump thing.
Probably.
But pretty funny tactic for them to kind of throw it back at us to do that. But I was like, damn, that's not. Because I know Iceland is like really becoming like a really valuable like geopolitical asset because of like the all the shipping lanes that will be opening up with the ice caps.
The locations as well as the like lanes of travel. Like there's a reason that like in the Arctics there's such a military presence. Like Russia, China, and the US are all heavily involved in the Arctics militarily, and
that would suck to get stationed there.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a resource thing. Like if drilling in the ocean floor out there or whatever, you know, it's all untapped out there. But also, like, I think just the strategic locational value, you know, of like if a nuclear submarine or something gets in that alleyway, like, is there any defense or like, you know, that kind of aspect with it too. So, this is quite the geopolitical episode, dude.
Yeah. What do you think? What else is in danger of popping off that comes to mind? I know there's like a South American country that was looking like they might fuck around.
I don't follow South America too closely.
Okay. I feel like I'm more interested in South America than
I feel like it's all
regions.
drug lords and stuff.
I think it's it's like drug. I think it's man, I can't remember. I know it's on the east. It's on the Atlantic side. It's kind of near that horn of South America. It's like two smaller countries, but anyways, yeah, I think they were like looking at going to war with each other, but I think it's cartel drug related. And then
it's gnarly. Those conflicts are fucking.
I didn't realize Argentina and England had gone to war like 40 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, for the not the Canary Islands.
I don't know. But there's a lot of conflicts.
Yeah,
a lot of wars that like.
I think we just went through a slow period, and now that this stuff's kind of coming back, people were like, "Oh my god."
I think we went through a period where the U.S. was just so bogged down. Like,
yeah.
We were the global conflict of like us in the Middle East was like, all right, well, they've got a war going on. The rest of the world can chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
Now that's all wrapping.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know I think I'm hopeful to see Ukraine and Russia come to a chill. I don't think it'll be a full cease, but I think it'll begin to wind down to chill out. That's my prediction is that not a new conflict, but I think Ukraine and Russia are both positioning themselves to come to a conclusion.
Yeah. I'm hopeful for that as well. I'm also interested to see what happens with China, Taiwan. Because, like, they can't back down.
I think look at the trade right now. With the impact we've put on China of our tariffs, there's no trade going on with China right now. Like the 145% tariffs, that's fucking pricing out all the cheap labor, whatever else you can get from China, that's gone. I think realistically speaking, I think the Taiwan thing is a front for China.
Really?
I don't necessarily see that ever coming to blows 100% on that, because as much as we love to say we hate China and all this stuff,
yeah,
we rely on China and China relies on us.
Right.
I think countries too are with how quick or how well conflicts are broadcasted now, like we were saying with drones and stuff like that, I think the loss of human life, I don't think people are cool with fucking hundreds of thousands of people dying anymore. Mm-hmm. I think China as a nation, like, I don't think their civilian population would be down with that kind of, they're not as dedicated to the cause as the government is. I think that's the line the governments have to play, is like,
I agree with you, but like how many people have died in Ukraine?
well, that's where I think the difference is. So China, I feel like the people there would not accept that. Russia, I feel like Russia's in its own, that's like their.
I disagree. I think China's more willing to do that.
Really?
I think China culturally is more willing to be like, get behind their government and be like, fuck it, like, this is what we're doing, it's for the greater good.
See, but I see that come off as a point of fear. Like, the people are scared of the Chinese government, whereas like Russia, I feel like it's a nationalistic view. Like, their everyday citizen is more nationalistically proud to be Russian and like support Russia, versus China's more like, I don't want to get fucking kidnapped and put in prison by China, you know?
I actually think China's more nationalistic, but they also have the fear. They have both. Like, they're more so, they have the fear for sure, and they have the greater control. But I think it's like they're like willingly controlled because of their nationalistic. Like, to me, China seemed, but then again, I'm not 100% certain, because like if you look at Russia, I feel like Russia's more homogenous as a culture. You get the Dagestan, the Chechens, like all those like kind of subsects.
They're also psychopaths out there, dude.
They just want to wrestle. You know what I mean? That's all they want to do.
They want to go dive in frozen ponds,
dude.
Hit the sauna and then wrestle.
But then in China has bigger. I'm kind of arguing against myself right now, because China has bigger, like, cultural differences with it. Like, they're less homogenous, where like they have like the Szechuan people, and then they have like starting to hang out with like Chinese food.
They have the General Tso.
Yeah. No, but they have like the Mandarin, like Szechuan, like all that kind of like shit, where it's like those are big subs. It's like almost like states and provinces, and culturally they're different. Like, I know like some of them hate the other, you know, it's like that kind of thing. But I don't know. I'm interested to see. I feel like China's back is against the wall. Like, they have to invade, and they're gonna wait till Trump is not president.
I don't see their. I think the difference here is I don't see their back against the wall with that. Like, to them, I think Taiwan is like, yeah, like they got little like bitch slap with losing Taiwan or whatever, you know. But like, I don't see it as like, it's not that
important.
Yeah, it's not that strategic, you know. Like, that would just be a prideful thing, and I really feel like technology, with China being as technologically advanced, like they are same level as we are, just about, with like AI, that kind of stuff. Russia's not doing that shit.
Yeah.
Like, Russia doesn't have the same social media, that kind of stuff. China's all over TikTok, they're in the same boat as us. Like, I don't think, same reason like the US, we cannot go and just bully our way through fucking everybody.
Right.
Is because everything is filmed, everything is put online, everyone sees everything, so there's no bullshitting a reason to go to war, you know? And I think that's why China's like, but I also think everyone needs an enemy in politics. Yeah. Politically speaking, I think the U.S. needs an enemy in China and Russia, and like, I don't think it's nearly as bad as it is. Like, the relations politically are blown way out of proportion.
Right.
I think all the leaders of the world know nuclear war won the fucking world.
Mm-hmm.
No one's willing to be that guy, but they're going to fucking play that card to scare the fuck out of the everyday person and keep them in line.
Yeah, no, fear is like the greatest motivator.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. Yeah, because, like, I mean, you talk to a fucking Russian guy, you talk to, whatever, and it's like, they're just like us. They just want to provide for their family and fucking chill, drink beers and shit. But yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see how the next rest of the year goes. I know people have talked about, like, I've had people at work ask me straight up, like, do you think there's going to be a recession? I'm like, no, I don't think so, but maybe.
If it is, it'll be good for mortgage rates. Yeah. That's all I know.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. Not really, but
yeah,
I think we're at an interesting time, but I also think everything is so negative right now that I think things are gonna turn around.
Yeah, I think people need to just, like, dude, I don't watch the news anymore.
No,
I just think you need to just get off. If you watch the news,
I'm off Instagram now, pretty much too.
Same,
like,
yeah.
It's
for instance, my dad, he sent me something the other day that was so funny, and I was just like, why do you allow this to, like, bug you? He sent me something, I guess Clemson. I didn't read the article, just the headline. It's like, Clemson gets roasted by Fox News anchor because they had 13 genders on something. And he, like, sends it to me, just, like, no context. And I'm just like, okay. I'm not fucking reading that. Like, I'm worried about this, like, 17-year-old 5-star recruit we're trying to get. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to win national championships, and you're over here sending me this bullshit, dude.
People get so upset about that stuff, too.
It doesn't affect me, yeah.
Dude, like, so many different... It's the Democratic Party has made such a good... They've done a very good job at making every issue... Make everyone feel guilty about not knowing every issue.
Right.
Like, they've made it to where if you say, I don't fucking care about that, you're an asshole.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of shit that I don't fucking care to have an opinion on.
Yeah, dude. I know. Everyone's focused on their own stuff, and, like, I don't have the bandwidth. That's the other thing, too. Like, that's, like, one thing I've noticed is, like, if someone is very involved in politics and it's not their job to be involved in politics, my instant judgmental reaction is, you probably don't have much going on. You're probably boring.
That's the most probably accurate judgment of someone.
Yeah.
If they're that involved with it. And I can look back at my own life, any time that I've been, like, fucking feeling a type of way towards something like that, I haven't had shit going on during that time.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I was, like, the most, like, interested in politics was when I was living at my parents' place going to community college. It was because I literally just got out of the Army. All my friends were, like, elsewhere. I was just, like, I had, like, really nothing going on. And then I think that was, like, it was Trump's first, what's it called, fucking thing, term. And so, like, everyone was, like, getting pissed off about that. And I was like, man, fuck all. I was like, not fuck Trump, but I was like, why is everyone getting so fired up over this shit? And then, like, once I started, like, making friends and doing other stuff, I was just like, dude, I have no idea.
Yeah. Well, I think it comes back to, too, like, people that are successful in, like, building something, they're taking action. And when you're taking action, you don't have fucking time to, like, get worked up over shit that doesn't matter. The only time you really have the time to get that worked up is if you are just staying stuck in your own thing and just not putting in any effort to better yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think though a lot of people want to be in today's world. Like, a lot of people want to be just fucking no responsibility, no nothing.
Right.
Have the time to get worked up over whatever the fuck they want to get worked up over.
Yeah.
And I think that's where these politicians and these media sources, they know that people are like that, and they take full advantage pushing the shit out that they do. So,
what do you think people can do right now to like make themselves like busier, or like I mean, a lot of people say like get a hobby. It's like, well,
no, delete Instagram.
Delete Instagram. That's your first step.
Take a week, delete Instagram. Every time you want to go on Instagram, go for a walk outside.
Yeah, go for walks. That's fucking huge for sure. Yeah, and then go initiate plans with friends.
Yeah. I can't tell you how many times I've been like stuck where I've had today, prime example, shitty work week.
Right.
Stressful week, nonstop, busy as fuck. I'm like, man, I just want to sit down, do fucking nothing today.
Yeah.
And yesterday we were talking, and you're like, yo, you want to come over record tomorrow? And then we got plans later today. Mm-hmm. And like in the back of my head, I'm like, fuck, dude, I just want to stay home and do nothing.
Yeah.
But then thinking about it, I'm like, you know what? No, I'm going to go fucking hang out with the homies, do something.
Yeah.
Not just sit around and be lazy.
Yeah. You got the rest of your life to sit around and be lazy.
Yeah.
But no, I'm with you. I think deleting social media is huge. I've gotten I've been reading that Dungeon Crawler Carl. Have you started reading it?
I read the first 5 pages of it.
Okay. So I've been getting real into this book, and like I started this in mid-March. So since mid-March, so about, 2 months almost? Like I'm on book 6, and like I have like the tracker of how much I'm on my phone, and I went down by half.
Reading is huge, man.
Dude, it's huge. I'll throw on like I have this like YouTube channel that's just like kind of like relaxing music, and I'll just throw that on, lay right here, sit here, read before work, after work, on the weekends. Like I woke up this morning early, and before you came over, I was reading, and like I think it's so much better than doom scrolling. It's so much better than just
Let me ask you too, while you are reading, are you feeling anxious?
No, I'm only focused on the book.
That, I think, is something that more people need to realize.
Yeah.
The more you take action and are doing something or focused on the task, productive, learning, whether you're reading fiction, nonfiction, whatever, you're learning. You're like, it's, going into your brain.
Mm-hmm. And one big thing for me is like, because I tried to read for the sake of reading. That doesn't work. No. Like you have to find something. Like I have been like enraptured by this book. You have to find something that really just like grabs your attention. Because otherwise you're going to be like reading, be like, I just zoned out. I got to reread this paragraph again. And like, you just keep going that over and over. And the next thing you know, you've gotten 5 pages and you just set it down.
My Kindle is full of books that I read the first chapter of and then didn't get connected with it. So,
and also too, another big thing to like do this is like get your friends to read. Like me, Alex, and now that you started reading it, like we kind of have like a low key like book club where there's 7 books in the series. I just started 6. Paul's just started 7. Alex is already done. And then like once you catch up, like, dude, it is so much fun to talk about this book. It's like excuse to go hang out with your boys, get a beer, and bullshit.
We should start a book club, dude. That'd be sick.
We easily could.
Yeah.
We could get Justin.
Put it out to the pod too, dude, and just do maybe bonus episodes of a book club.
Yeah, book review.
That'd be
sick.
Cool.
We could get fucking someone else on. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But yeah. No. Did you see when I asked Justin about that Dostoevsky book?
No.
I think it was War and Peace. I was like, because I was waiting for Paul to finish book 6 to give it to me, and I needed something to read in the meantime.
Yeah.
And Dostoevsky's been something I've been looking at, and I like texted the group chat, and I was like, hey, what are everyone's thoughts on Dostoevsky? What do you think? And I was like, I don't want it to be some like emo bullshit. And he's like, yeah, it's like not a interesting book. It's like blah, blah, blah. I was like, no, I don't want to fucking read that then. And he was like, what do you mean? Like,
Why would you not want to read that?
Yeah, it's the most like, the most like visceral summary of like the human condition. I was like, that sounds lame as fuck. Like, I don't want to.
I go through moods with books too, dude, where I'm like, something like that might sound interesting one day. And
yeah,
then I
one
go
day.
pick it back up and try to read it again, and I'm like, why?
Yeah.
I don't want to read this.
Like, my goal for reading, though, is like, I would like to increase my vocabulary.
That works. So, I mean, my reading really picked back up when Lent started. So I gave up watching TV and Instagram for Lent. Instagram was kind of halfway until we started this podcast, and then kind of had to get back on there. But the not watching TV and reading, I feel like my vocabulary is better, having better conversation.
Right.
Like, I'm having a lot better perspectives, and then I'm also out of my head more. Like, I'm not sitting around, because I feel like when I scroll, I'm in my fucking head, not even paying attention to what I'm looking at, scrolling, just in my head thinking.
Yeah.
And I think that is, when you have time to think, you are fucked. Like,
you're not present. Yeah. No, I agree with that. And like, you subconsciously compare yourself to others.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Another good perspective too is like, if you're worried about public speaking, right? What is the worst part of public speaking?
Like getting embarrassed.
Like, when are you the most stressed?
Oh,
like,
before you're doing it.
before you're doing it.
Yeah, not when you're doing it.
Like, anticipation
dude. Yeah.
is the biggest anxiety producing thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
And if you stop anticipating something and thinking, oh, I need to do this tomorrow. Okay, I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow. And then you haven't worked out in 6 months, and you're like, fuck, dude, I need to get in the gym. I need to do this, but fuck, like, it's going to suck. I haven't worked out in forever. I'm going to be so out of shape. I'm going to do this, and then you're anxious.
Yeah.
But if you just wake up, decide, okay, I'm going to the gym, put your gym shorts on, go.
Yeah.
No time to think about it. No time to anything.
Dude, that's what I do. I wake up at 6. I roll out of bed. I put on my clothes. Like, I put my phone over there, so I have to get up. And, like, literally, when I hear my alarm, I'm, like, literally like, oh, my God, why the fuck do I have to wake up right now? By the time I walk to my phone, I'm like, I'm already awake. I'm going to the gym.
I bet you sleep a lot better, too, with your phone out there versus when it's...
Yes, that, and I had a alarm or a clock in my bedroom, because I just, it's like, I need an alarm or a clock in my bedroom. And then I had to put that away because, like, I'd wake up at 3 a.m, like, every morning, and would, like, look and be like, fuck, I have 3 more hours to sleep. Wake up at 4:30. I have an hour and a half. Be thinking about that. And so now I'm like, put it away, and now I just wake up and I'm like, I don't know how much, I'm just going to go back to bed.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to, I've recently, like, this past week, started a bunch of supplements for sleep.
Yeah, I want updates on that, too.
Yeah.
So what are you taking?
So I'm taking a fuck ton of stuff, actually. But my core 3 are L-theanine. That's for, like, anxiety and just to, like, mellow out and
That's
sleep.
Fungi, right?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think it is. But that's more, it's like, that's for, like, sleep, kind of relaxation kind of stuff. L-theanine. I'm taking creatine, obviously. I'm taking fish oil, like omega-3 fish oil. I'm taking magnesium for sleep. And then I'm taking... Oh, I have, like, my fucking supplement list over here.
You're going to be a superhuman, dude.
I'm taking essential amino acids because I didn't realize this, but since I work out in the morning before I eat or anything, that's like I'm working out fasted, and like that's not a great. You need to have essential amino acids or some sort of like protein building blocks while you're working out fasted, because you're leaving some gains on the table. But let me backtrack. Fitness wise, like my base 3 are essential amino acids, salt. It's that Baja salt I was telling you about, and that's just
hydration and electrolytes.
Exactly that, and then the omega 3s, it's the fish oils and stuff, and that's kind of like my baseline. And then additional is like L-theanine, magnesium, and that's just for like mood, sleep kind of stuff. And then I do take ashwagandha because it's like increases testosterone, but like after like reading it and stuff, I'm kind of like, I'm gonna get off that. And then I started taking like saffron and vitamin D, just because like that also apparently helps with sleep as well. So
okay,
but
vitamin D is a magic
yeah
pill, dude. Like depression, anxiety stuff.
Right.
Get some fucking sunlight. Take vitamin D supplements. People don't realize how deficient they can be in that.
No, seriously, yeah,
it makes a huge difference. And I think that as a whole, kind of like you were telling me this week of how like if you're off a little bit in your balances of different supplements or whatever it may be, that throws off your hormones, which then throws off thing, and there's a whole kaleidoscope of fucking changes. So
yeah, and that's kind of like I'm getting all this information from like Andrew Huberman, Gary Brecka. So Gary Brecka, his base 3 are like, he has like a list of like the bare minimum. These are like everyone is probably deficient in this, and that's he's like do the salt, omega 3s, and then do the essential amino acids. That all makes sense to me. Huberman is big on like L-theanine and magnesium for sleep, and I just chose to do I was like looking at like saffron and the vitamin D, and there's some benefits there. Also, it comes in like gummy worm form. So I'm like, how you not stoked to eat a gummy worm?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
But that creatine. But I do kind of, so I was talking to an uncle of mine, and I do kind of want to check out this peptide that he takes. And it's not a SARM, and it's not really big on building muscle or anything like that, but he says it's really good for him for recovery. And there's a lot of good research on it. It's called MK677.
See, I don't like shit like that, because what the fuck is that?
Ibutamarin or some shit. But it apparently is like really good for sleep and recovery and like eating. And for me, like I personally am trying to put on weight. I'm 180. I'm trying to get to like 185, 190, like lean. And my sleep is bad. And so I'm like looking into that, like doing that for like 3 months and kind of see what.
Okay.
But
I need to lose weight. I'll trade you.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, we have covered a plethora of topics in the last 53 minutes.
Just rambling, dude.
0. We have stayed on path of having no path, and I think that's just how this is going to be, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, I guess we'll wrap it up here, and we got enough time going, so fuck it.
All right.
See you guys next week.
Take it easy. Happy Mother's Day.